In the sweltering embrace of a Los Angeles evening on August 5, 2025, where the sun dipped low over the Hollywood Hills casting long shadows that danced like ghosts across the palm-lined streets of Fairfax, and the air thrummed with the distant bass of rooftop parties and the ceaseless hum of ambition-fueled traffic on Santa Monica Boulevard, Robert De Niro pulled up to the CBS television city in an understated black Escalade, his arrival a quiet storm amid the flashbulbs of a dozen paparazzi who captured the lines of experience etched into his face like the grooves of a well-worn vinyl record, a testament to 8 decades of embodying the fractured American soul from the raw fury of Raging Bull to the quiet menace of The Godfather Part 2. De Niro, at 81, moved with the deliberate grace of a man who'd outlasted eras, his compact frame draped in a midnight blue Brioni suit that whispered of Little Italy tailoring and Tribeca power lunches, his silver hair swept back with the precision of a Scorsese dolly shot, his dark eyes, those piercing portals that had ignited revolutions in Taxi Driver's neon underbelly and simmered with regret in The Irishman's twilight, now hooded with the weight of 2 Academy Awards, a lifetime of method immersion that bordered on madness, and a recent surge into political pugilism that saw him unleashing expletive-laced broadsides against Trump at the 2018 Tonys and beyond, here to plug his memoir De Niro, Uncut Scenes, a visceral volume vivisecting his collisions with Hollywood's hypocritical hierarchy, his battles against ageism's insidious creep, and the mobster machinations of media that devoured its own. Bill Maher, the 69-year-old verbal virtuoso whose HBO redoubt had weathered 22 seasons of intellectual infighting with his atheist-infused barbs and libertarian-leaning lobs that had felled foes from Ben Shapiro to Bernie Sanders, fiddled with a fountain pen in the green room, his casual Henley and jeans a studied slouch masking the razor mind that had built an empire on discomfort, the live audience of 500, a heady mix of silver screen scholars, satire snobs, and De Niro devotees brandishing battered Mean Streets Blu-rays, erupting in a wave of whistles and whoops as the overture crashed in like a Goodfellas getaway, the set austere altar of burnished walnut desk, sagging stars and stripes, and the foreboding, overtime, luminescence hinting at hours of unbridled unmasking. Maher's monologue mauled the moment's madness, from crypto-cons to celebrity sanctimony, before unspooling De Niro with a wolfish wink, from the concrete jungle to the comedy coliseum, the dawn of drama, Bobby De Niro. The acclaim avalanched as De Niro claimed his perch with a curt nod that could command a crew, the opening volleys vibrant with Maher hailing Uncut Scenes' unflinching undercarriage, "You carve deeper than Coppola's cuts," De Niro muttering a mirthless mirth about greenlighting DiCaprio's Don't Look Up as just another apocalypse audition, the panel, a right-wing revisionist and a left-leaning linguist, leaning in for lore on Joker's Joker auditions. But as the timer taunted toward the break, Maher, his gaze glinting like a garrote wire in a dimly lit alley, swung into the partisan powder keg, jabbing, "Bobby, your book's a butcher knife on Tinseltown, but those Tonys tantrums, Trump. Cinematic, but from a $200 million war chest. Isn't that just Goodfella grousing from a gated good life?" The throng tittered, but De Niro's demeanor darkened like a Cape Fear eclipse, his voice a low Bronx burr, grousing. "Try gospel from the gutter, Bill. Trump's the swindle, not the sweat, jest that from your jester's jukebox, but I've hustled the hustles you hype." Unyielding, Maher arched an eyebrow, the revisionist rumbling. "Approval. Hustles, cut the Godfather gospel, you savage the system while system surfing in the Hamptons. Woke wise guy or just wise guy woke." Chuckles churned, but De Niro's digits drummed the desk like a casino countdown, his riposte meet the parents' menace, "Wise guy. I've portrayed him, not prostrated to him, your pokes are piffle from a pundit who's punted his punch. Twist my travails to tropes, and you're no conversationalist, you're a clown in a collar." The fiery comments flared when the linguist lauded De Niro's patriarchal pitfalls, cueing Maher to mock, "Clown. At 81, Bobby, you're the patriarch past prime, retire the roar, or is it raging relic redux?" The atmosphere atomized as De Niro vaulted upright, lamp lurching like a listing liner, "Relic. I've eclipsed epics you epilogue in ephemera. If this, real time, reeks of relic ridicule, my runtime reels to end, your fiasco." Upheaval unfurled, hurrahs hammering with hoots as producers pleaded into plugs, 2 security silhouettes surging forward with suave suasion to shepherd him stageward, De Niro's departure a heat heist hustle toward the haze, Maher hurling to hiatus with a huff, "One slam that'll stick," Bobby's bouncing the booth. Backstage, De Niro's fixer flung a fedora into his fist, phone flaring with Pesci's incoming growl, "You scorched the set, forget about it," while Maher fist bumped the fray, murmuring, "Dynamite drop, demo detonator." The footage fissioned the firmament like a casino car bomb, Hashtag De Niro kicked Maher mushrooming with 60 million views by Vesper. Cine sages scorning Mars. Geriatric goad. De Niro diehards dubbing it, De Niro does De Niro, with Untouchables untethered walkouts, bystanders on Blue Sky bisecting it as Boomer Beef Bonanza. HBO's hardware heaved, sponsors from Nobu to his Nobu Noir vaporizing amid the volatile vortex. Scorsese's tweet a tacit thunderbolt, Bobby's the boss, bar none. De Niro, slicing through Santa Monica's salt spray in a stealth suburban toward his Pacific Palisades palace, channeled the Kohler into a fresh wise guy's whisper to Marty, the ousting an olive oil slick not to slip on but to skate over, alchemizing a front into auteur ammo for the ages. Subplots sizzled in the slag, a film fest fledgling in the throng firing up a Patreon for P and pics that peaked at $3 million, Maher's quip quartermaster leaking lead lines on, legacy lure gone loose, and De Niro's dusky dial to Al Pacino, growling glee over, just another Jersey Jolt juiced up. The video script seared the saga in stark strokes, slow-mo of De Niro's DoorDash intercut with raging bull rope a-dope and Maher's musing montages, dialogues drenched in De Niro's diesel dialect dueling Maher's mordant mockery, themes of time's toll tolling like a Godfather tollbooth toll. As moonrise mirrored on Malibu's breakers, De Niro docked at his dune hugger den, the clash a chapter not closed but cut to commercial, his essence as enduring as Heat's heist haze, a maestro who morphed ejection into epic in the eternal edit of Ego's empire, his fiery comments a flare that lit the fuse for fame's final frontier. Extended excavations excavated pre-tape tremors, De Niro's dialect dives against disdain's deluge, Maher's mirth at mafioso muse maneuvers mishandled, and post-clash cascades, from deadline daggers to dinner declamations with aged Armagnac anecdotes of absolution, forging a frame as fraught as the deer hunter's despair, fervent with the fire of fame's forge and the finesse of feuds, finale in an icon's inexorable ink, where the godfather of grit gifts the gift of gab gone glorious, a narrative nexus of snarls and salvation that resonates like a Goodfellas gabfest in the gangster gallery of glory. The unyielding grind of Los Angeles's gossip grindstone ground into gear. At grayscale dawn the day after Robert De Niro's detonative decampment from real time, with the trades, timelines ticking, De Niro's DoorDash, fiery flounce flays Maher's mic. And X feeds fishing into a 80 million post frenzy by 10 a.m., snippets of the sage's snarling split screened on TikTok with Goodfellas GAB fests, morphing the mahogany desk into a den of De Niro dominance versus Maher's mordant melee, the viral velocity of vortex that vacuumed viewers from Venice Beach to Vanderbilt Avenues. In his fog-kissed Pacific Palisades perch, De Niro devoured dailies over dim sum and drip coffee, his son Elliot on Zoom zinging about a 700% swell in raw cuts rushes, his posse in plot-thick mode plotting a pithy post, kicked for cutting close, truth's the toughest take two. Hashtag raging real deal, round 2. At HBO's Hollywood Hardpan, Maher mulled over Mocha in a memo maze, execs excavating 100% viewership volcanoes but blanching at a 60% sponsor scatter from Rouse Reds to his Rouse Reserve, his hot open a honed hedge, last night, Bobby brought the bull, me. I just waved the cape. Who's next? The Don's daughter with a drone. Eliciting edgy elation amid hashtag Maher maligned from made men mavens, the mockery a mirror to the melee's madness. Legal lariats lashed. De Niro's downtown dynamos, drilled in De Palma disputes, teed up a $80 million libel lasso over the relic, reigns ravaging his renaissance, briefs bearing producer plots for patriarch provocation palettes, to paint primetime palettes with provocative pastels. Sentiment splintered like splintered celluloid. Auteur alleys on A24 forums anointed De Niro, untouchable underboss, Zoomer zingers on Reddit razzed his, receipts rampage reloaded, neutrals nominating 2.5 million signatures for a redux with ropes and referees. Subplots stewed in the stockpot. The historian's hushed homage in History Today on, hostile histories revisited, leaking lounge lunacy level 2, a soundstage savant, a taxi driver talisman, anonymously archiving De Niro dailies for a digital drop, and viral vignettes vending the vendetta to casino chip flings with flair. The video script summoned the squall in symphonic stabs, splintered screens of scandal sheets, De Niro's Dune Dash intercut with Maher's Marina Mope, voiceovers vivifying the vice of satire's switchblade, slicing seniority from silver screens, the second act a symphony of schadenfreude and solidarity. De Niro's drive deepened in Dune buggy drifts, drafting dispatches on, provocation as plot pivot point, while Maher meditated in martini murmurs on, poking patriarchs perilously, part der. Bi-weekly bonfire. The writ waned in a $35 million settlement seating senior script slates for the sequel set, but the foundation fractured further, Raw cuts climb crested Criterion crests with companion cuts, Real Times recaps rebounded on, Relic reveries reloaded. Stretched soliloquies from sworn scrolls spotlighted De Niro's diesel declamations, Snark scars the scarred survivors, sequel style, homefront harmonies in the Hamptons honing humility for heirs on hiatus with high-stakes homework, stellar salutes from Spielberg's seismic send-off to Schenkman's snappy solidarity strikes. Ripples rampaged. Brand bailouts buffed by De Niro's Dinner Drops Deluxe, digital debates delving, Don dodges, with Irishman intimations intensified. In this interval's inferno, the script spiraled through tribunal tangles, social sieges, and subtle sutures, assigned mean streets mad from Maher with marginalia, distilling the fiery comments, as De Niro's defiant dispatch deluxe, transmuting ousting into opus overture, a chronicle where quips quarreled with quests and kindled kinships kindle in comedy's caustic crucible, the second verse a verve of vengeance veiled in velvet. Extended, excavations etched pre-tape tremors, De Niro's dialect dives against disdain's deluge deepened, Maher's mirth at mafioso muse maneuvers mishandled magnificently, and post-clash cascades, from deadline daggers doubled to dinner declamations with aged Armagnac anecdotes amplified, forging a frame as fraught as the deer hunter's despair doubled, fervent with the fire of fame's forge and the finesse of feuds, finale in an icon's inexorable ink, where the godfather of grit gifts the gift of gab gone glorious, a narrative nexus of snarls and salvation that resonates like a Goodfellas gabfest in the gangster gallery of glory, reloaded and resonant. As the ochre hush of an October Oregon outback enveloped by early frost the following fall, the barbs from Robert De Niro's Maher maelstrom had mellowed into masterstrokes of mending and mastery, recharting realms from HBO hothouses to Hollywood hillcrests with heightened harmony, with Raw Cuts' companion cuts uncut clinching a National Book Award nod and Tribeca's Titan trove totaling $250 million in trailblazing talents tripled, De Niro's diesel decree dominating discourse on Don-like dignity in a digitized days deepened. The settlement sinews strengthened HBO's discourse dens, guest-guarded GAB fests on grit garnering 105% surges, Maher and De Niro dueling for a docudrama, clash to cuts complete, their fireside fray of feisty feuds finale, fetching $70 million, Maher toasting with a tumbler of Tempranillo, to raging bulls who don't fold the red flag, salute, Bobby, you beautiful bastard reborn. De Niro's domain at 82 burgeoned beyond bounds, Palisades sunup scripting Scorsese sagas with sunrise salutes supreme, Drina's directorial debuts laced with lessons from the lounge leveled up, his quartet fury frames forever teasing tracks tempered in the tussle transcended, grandkids gleaning grit from Goodfellas Godfather GAB Fest's grand. Faithful fused under hashtag De Niro Dynasty Deluxe, his Gotham Film Award garland gushing gratitude, kicked from chairs, but king of the clapperboard kingdom, gracias to the gadfly who goaded my gold rush to glory's gate. Subplots seemed seamlessly supreme. The Savants archive burgeoned to a benefit biopic blockbuster, the Guru co-chaired a comedy cautions conclave complete, and sentinels from the set supped at Scorsese suppers supreme, saluting his steadfast snarl with standing ovations. The video script soared in symphonic splendor supreme, montages of marquee majesties and Misty Monroes multiplied, De Niro's diesel drawls voiced over Maher's mordant mirth mellowed, validating vindication's verse victorious, his valediction, comments cleave the cocoon complete, but courage crafts the chrysalis of comeback crowned. Maher's locus crested in a legacy lecture on, Lance with limits and love lavish, harvesting heart from hubris's harvest harvested. As 2026 beckoned with Beltane breezes bold, De Niro's diesel honed heritage healings on hybrid horizons heightened, real times nights nodded to narrative noblesse noble. Extrapolated epics espied evolutions eternal. De Niro's directorial dazzler on Don Dynasties directed by Daughter Deluxe, Maher's gala guffaw with De Niro drawls doubled, a broadcast brotherhood blooming benevolent beyond bounds under both banners bold. The Odyssey, from fractious flay to felicitous firmament full, surmounted the title's tempest with tonic timbre triumphant, avowing that even evictions engender empires of empathy in entertainment's echoing expanse expanded, where comments crown the courageous with clarity's crown complete and fiery flurries forge forever's flame forever. Extended vistas ventured pre-tape tremors triumphant, De Niro's dialect drills against disdain's dirge defeated, Maher's mirth at mobbed up guest gambits gone. Gloriously grand, and post-clash cascades, from variety vexations vanquished to victory vodkas with vintage vino visions victorious, weaving a warp as wondrous as Godfather genealogies grand, alive with the ache of ambition's altar ascended and the allure of absolution's arc arched, an icon's inexorable ink immortalized in the ink of indelible infamy infinite, echoing eternally in entertainment's echoing expanse as a saga of snarls and salvation supreme, where the godfather of grit gifts the gift of gab gone glorious grand, a narrative nexus of snarls and salvation that resonates like a Goodfellas gabfest in the gangster gallery of glory, reloaded, resonant, and redeemed.